Yakizami21 here, and I'm going to make a top 5 video, which is this is the first time I'm making a top 5 video. This is based on Tale of Two Wastelands. So what I'm going to start is with the top 5 most annoying and most difficult enemies to beat in Tale of Two Wastelands. So let's get on to the video. Let's start at number 5. Coming in at number 5 is the Tunnelers from the Lonesome Roads DLC. So the Tunnelers, they're basically an abomination type enemy that appears in the DLC. At first glance, if only one Tunneler, it's fine, there's no big deal. But if there's a swarm of them, it can be difficult to deal with. The reason I'm making this as number 5 is because if you are swarmed with tunnelers, the best weapon that you can use are shotguns if you're spec into it, especially. Some variants of tunnelers are also venomous, according to their names that is, but I never personally got poisoned by a tunneler before. So, yeah, that's why they're on the top 5. They're on number 5. Let's go to number 4. Coming in at number 4 are Casadors in Fallout New Vegas, the vanilla game, and also any DLC that features Casadors. So Casadors are a type of mutated insect that appears in the vanilla game and also its DLCs. Now, the reason why the Casadors are so annoying and difficult to beat is because they move rather erratically, so you have to depend on VATS, if you're accurate on VATS that is, or use a shotgun to cripple their wings. The most annoying part is their poison. Their poison is basically one of the most annoying things that can be inflicted upon you when fighting them. Fighting one Cazador, like the Tunnelers, is actually easy, but fighting a swarm of them at once when you're unprepared is basically a death sentence. So that's why the Casadors take the number 4 slot. Let's go to number 3. Coming in at number 3 are the hit squads from both the Legion and the NCR. So the reason why these are number 3 is because they only appear if you have a bad reputation with at least one of them. So for instance, if you have a bad reputation with the NCR, they will send a hit squad of you on you by sending in rangers, and rangers are sometimes tough to beat. While legionary assassins, they can ambush you anywhere if you have a bad legion reputation. The only way to get rid of them is to maintain a neutral reputation with both of these factions, which is why then again they're number 3. Now let's go to number 2. Coming in at number 2 are the Talon Company in Fallout 3. So, the Talon Company is one of the hostile factions in Fallout 3. Well, basically, you cannot join them, and they are always attack on sight. They mainly ambush you if you have good karma. But, if you go to Fort Bannister, their headquarters, you're basically swarmed by them. Also, they can also ambush you at those locations at the wrong time, mostly. If you watch my live streams, you can see that I have troubles fighting them in the early game because they were armed with high level weapons, even though I'm still like level 5 or 8 or even 10. In order to stop these hit squads is to basically maintain a neutral karma, which is almost impossible to do because of roleplay issues. If you like to roleplay, or if you're too good, you basically need to murder a lot of innocents, and murdering a lot of innocents NPCs can also risk failing quests. Like, well, genociding Rivet City or Megaton. So yeah, the Talon Company deserves to be in the number 2 spot on this list. Now let's go to number 1. The top most difficult and most annoying enemy to face in Tale of Two Wastelands, both in Fallout 3 and New Vegas, is the Super Mutants in both the Capital Wasteland and the Mojave Wasteland. These are truly, without any question I believe, the most difficult and annoying enemy type to defeat in both Wastelands. So, this enemy type, the Super Mutants, can't be defeated that easily. You can't just shoot them up that way. It really doesn't work, especially in the early levels, because they have high DT. Now, if you're playing with mods that increases damage on locational parts, well, for me, for instance, the realistic headshot mod, they can be a pain to fight because, like other enemies in the game, they're somehow very accurate in their shot, like special forces level shots. And they're armed with high level weaponry, even when you first encountered them in low levels. I was like around level 5 or 10 back then when I'm doing the live stream, around 5 to level 10. And they're already armed with high level weaponry such as, well, mostly like machine guns and Chinese assault rifles, that is. Pretty strong weaponry. And they can really weigh you down if you don't really know how to stop them. The most effective way to stop them is to use high level weaponry yourself. And using high level weaponry isn't that easy, because you need to meet the skill requirements to use those weapons in order to use them very effectively. So you need to constantly level up your weapon skills, okay, when you're trying to use them. If you use low tier weapons, like I said, they just shrug off your attacks. But if you do use a high level weaponry and you're really accurate at using it, especially sniper rifles, well, that really doesn't need that high of a skill level. If you know how to aim down the scope, that is. They can be taken down in few headshots if you have the realistic headshot mod installed. Now, another thing that makes them super annoying is that high level super mutants such as the Masters and the Overlords, and also some of the Nightkin in New Vegas, they have very high HP. This combined with their very high DT makes them nearly impossible to defeat using those low tier weapons. Even though they don't heal up, they don't take radiation damage. Well, the AI in this game cheats by not getting any radiation damage. Well, but whatever. And they, like even the normal super mutants, can be armed with those high level weaponry themselves, so they can basically insta kill you with several headshots. And again, the best way to defeat them is to use high level weaponry. I usually avoid them by sneaking around them or doing sneak criticals with the Gauss rifle in order to stop them. So which is why I did the Operation Anchorage DLC first in my live stream. The other easy way to deal with them is to have a high sneak, perks that increase sneak critical damage, and also the Purifier perk. So you can sneak up to them and basically do a very high damage attack on them, and hope to God that that attack killed them, at least one. So that doesn't make fighting them that much challenging, especially in hordes, if you have a sneak level of 100, that is. Now, another thing with the super mutants in the capital Wasteland is that they're pretty much a precursor to Deathclaws. When you're going to Evergreen Mills, or well, there are some Deathclaws that spawn close to Evergreen Mills. I've encountered one once, and also Old Olney. So some of you people must be like, "Hey, what about Deathclaws? Why aren't Deathclaws on this list?" If if I made this list around 3 months or half of a year ago, I'd consider adding Deathclaws into this list. However, after I played Tale of Two Wastelands in the capital Wasteland, I don't really find Deathclaws to be that annoying because by the time I got to Old Olney, I already have a high level. They're easy to sneak by because of my high sneak at the time, and also I can one-shot them with anti-material rifles. And basically, when you're already high level, basically any high tier weapon can just mow them down. And usually they don't travel in packs like super mutants. So I don't really find Deathclaws to be that much difficult and annoying. However, the super mutants, they are oftentimes in groups. They can quickly mow you down in low levels. And they don't retreat from battle unlike human NPCs. So you cannot rout them. By the time you start fighting them, either you can escape them quickly if you're lucky, or you have to really fight to the death in order to stop them. So, amongst many reasons why I think that super mutants are the most difficult and annoying enemy type to defeat in Tale of Two Wastelands, fighting a single super mutant, it's not that bad like the other members of this list. But when they're in the group and you're not really prepared to face them, they can really be a pain in the anus. So that's it for this top 5 list. Let me know what your opinions are in the comments. If there are more annoying enemies to fight in Tale of Two Wastelands, I'll see you again, guys, in the next top 5 video.